You're going about your day minding your own business when suddenly someone cuts you off in traffic. Or maybe your boss criticizes your work in front of the whole office. Or perhaps you receive a text message from a friend canceling plans at the last minute. In moments like these, it's easy to get upset. It's natural to feel frustrated, angry, or hurt. But what if I told you that there was a way to rise above those negative emotions? What if I told you that you had the power to choose how you react to the challenges and setbacks that life throws your way? You see, the secret to living a happy, fulfilling life isn't about avoiding difficult situations or pretending that everything is perfect all the time. It's about learning to act as if nothing bothers you, even when things are far from ideal. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but wait a minute, isn't that just repressing your emotions? Isn't that unhealthy? And to that, I would say no. Acting as if nothing bothers you doesn't mean denying your feelings or pretending that you're not human. It simply means choosing to focus on what you can control rather than getting caught up in the things that you can't. Think about it this way: when something bad happens, you have two choices. You can either let it ruin your day, your week, or even your life, or you can choose to rise above it. You can choose to stay focused on your goals, your dreams, and the things that truly matter to you. And the more you practice acting as if nothing bothers you, the easier it becomes. It's like building a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And before you know it, you'll find that the little things that used to stress you out or get under your skin simply don't have the same power over you anymore. But how do you actually do it? How do you learn to act as if nothing bothers you in the face of life's challenges and setbacks? Well, the first step is to recognize that your thoughts and emotions are not who you are. They are simply passing experiences like clouds in the sky. You have the power to choose which ones you focus on, which ones you give energy to, and which ones you let drift away. So when something happens that triggers a negative emotion, take a step back. Observe the thought or feeling without judgment, without getting caught up in it. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that this too shall pass. The second step is to focus on what you can control. When things don't go your way, it's easy to get caught up in the why me mentality. But the truth is, there are always going to be things that are outside of your control: the weather, other people's actions or opinions, the state of the economy. But there are also things that you can control: your own thoughts, your own actions, your own choices. And when you focus on those things, when you pour your energy into the things that you can actually do something about, you'll find that the things that used to bother you start to lose their power. The third step is to practice gratitude. When you're feeling overwhelmed or stressed out, it's easy to focus on all the things that are going wrong in your life. But the truth is, there is always something to be grateful for, even in the midst of the toughest challenges. So take a moment each day to reflect on the things that you're thankful for: your health, your loved ones, your talents and abilities, the roof over your head. And as you do, you'll find that your perspective starts to shift. You'll start to see the world through a lens of abundance rather than scarcity. And that shift in perspective can make all the difference. The fourth step is to surround yourself with positive people. The people you spend time with have a huge impact on your mental and emotional state. If you're constantly around people who are negative, critical, or draining, it's going to be hard to maintain a positive outlook. So seek out people who uplift and inspire you, people who believe in you, who challenge you to be your best self, who make you laugh and feel good about yourself. And if there are people in your life who consistently bring you down, don't be afraid to set boundaries or even let them go. The fifth and final step is to take action. When you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed, it's easy to get paralyzed by fear or indecision. But the truth is, action is the antidote to fear. When you take even the smallest step forward, you start to build momentum. And that momentum can carry you through even the toughest challenges. So when something happens that bothers you, don't just sit there and stew in your own negative emotions. Do something about it. Take a walk, call a friend, write in your journal, or tackle a project that you've been putting off. The act of moving forward, of taking positive action, can shift your entire mindset and help you feel more in control of your life. Now, I know that learning to act as if nothing bothers you is easier said than done. It takes practice, patience, and a willingness to step outside your comfort zone. But the rewards are more than worth it. When you learn to rise above the little things that used to stress you out or get under your skin, you free up so much mental and emotional energy. You start to see challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles. You start to approach life with a sense of curiosity and openness rather than fear and resistance. And as you do, you start to create a life that is rich and fulfilling and overflowing with joy. You start to attract people and opportunities that align with your values and your purpose. You start to make a positive impact on the world around you simply by showing up as your best self each and every day. But don't just take my word for it. Try it out for yourself. The next time something happens that bothers you, take a deep breath, step back, and choose to act as if it doesn't have the power to ruin your day. Focus on what you can control, practice gratitude, surround yourself with positive people, and take action towards your goals and dreams. And as you do, as you start to build that muscle of mental and emotional resilience, you'll find that the challenges and setbacks that used to bring you down simply don't have the same power over you anymore. You'll find that you have the strength and the courage to handle whatever life throws your way with grace and ease and even a little bit of humor. Because that's the thing about acting as if nothing bothers you. It's not about being perfect or never feeling negative emotions. It's about choosing to focus on the good, even in the midst of the bad. It's about finding the lesson or the opportunity in every challenge and using it to grow and evolve and become the best version of yourself. And when you do that, when you make that choice to rise above the little things and stay focused on what truly matters, that's when the magic happens. That's when you start to create a life that is beyond your wildest dreams, a life that is filled with purpose and meaning and joy. So let that be your challenge today and every day going forward. Let act as if nothing bothers you be your mantra, your guiding light, your North Star. Let it be the thing that anchors you in the midst of life's storms, the thing that reminds you of your own strength and resilience and power. Because you, my friend, are capable of amazing things. You have within you the power to overcome any obstacle, to achieve any dream, to create a life that is rich and fulfilling and overflowing with joy. All you have to do is choose to act as if nothing bothers you and then watch as the world opens up before you in ways you never could have imagined. It won't always be easy. There will be days when you want to give up, when you feel like you can't take another step. But in those moments, remember this: you are stronger than you know. You are more resilient than you realize. You are more powerful than you can possibly imagine. And when you tap into that power, when you harness the full force of your mental and emotional strength, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that can stand in your way. So keep going, keep showing up, keep choosing to act as if nothing bothers you, even when the world around you is falling apart. Keep believing in yourself, even when no one else does. Because the world needs your light, your love, your unique gifts and talents. The world needs you to rise above the chaos and the noise and the negativity and shine as brightly as you can. And when you do, when you become the unshakable, unstoppable force that you were always meant to be, that's when you start to change lives. That's when you start to make a difference in the world, to leave a legacy that will last long after you're gone, to inspire others to follow in your footsteps and reach for their own greatness. So let that be your calling, your purpose, your reason for being. Let act as if nothing bothers you. Be the thing that drives you forward, the thing that gives you the courage and the strength to keep going. And when you keep acting as if nothing bothers you, when you keep choosing to rise above the negativity and the chaos, something incredible starts to happen. You start to become a beacon of hope and inspiration for others. You see, we all have people in our lives who are struggling. We all know someone who is going through a tough time, who is feeling lost or alone or afraid. And when they see you, when they witness the way that you move through the world with grace and ease and unwavering positivity, it gives them hope. It shows them that there is another way, that they too have the power to choose how they react to life's challenges and setbacks. And that, my friend, is the true power of acting as if nothing bothers you. It's not just about improving your own life, although that is certainly a wonderful benefit. It's about creating a ripple effect of positivity and resilience that touches everyone around you. Think about it this way: every time you choose to act as if nothing bothers you, every time you choose to focus on the good and let go of the bad, you are sending a message to the universe. You are saying, I trust in the flow of life, I trust in my own strength and resilience, I trust that everything is happening for my highest good. And when you send out that message, when you vibrate at that frequency of trust and surrender and unshakable faith, you start to attract more of the same. You start to draw in people and opportunities and experiences that align with your positive energy. You start to create a life that is rich and fulfilling and overflowing with abundance. But it doesn't happen overnight. Like any skill or habit, acting as if nothing bothers you takes practice. It takes consistency and commitment and a willingness to keep showing up even when you don't feel like it. So start small. The next time something happens that triggers a negative emotion, take a deep breath and remind yourself that you have a choice. You can either react with anger or frustration or fear, or you can choose to let it go. You can choose to focus on the good, to find the lesson or the opportunity in the challenge, to keep moving forward with grace and ease. And as you do, as you start to build that muscle of emotional resilience, you'll find that it gets easier and easier. You'll find that the things that used to bother you start to lose their power, and that you are able to move through life with a greater sense of peace and purpose. But don't just stop there. Once you've mastered the art of acting as if nothing bothers you, start to share it with others. Start to be an example of what is possible when you choose to rise above the negativity and focus on the good. You can do this in small ways, like smiling at a stranger or offering a kind word to someone who is having a tough day. Or you can do it in bigger ways, like starting a blog or a podcast or a movement that inspires others to live their best lives. Because the truth is, we all have the power to make a difference in the world. We all have the ability to create positive change simply by showing up as our best selves each and every day. And when you act as if nothing bothers you, when you choose to be a beacon of hope and inspiration for others, you start to create a ripple effect of positivity that can change lives. So let that be your mission, your calling, your reason for being. Let act as if nothing bothers you be the thing that drives you forward. The thing that gives you the courage and the strength to keep going, even when the world around you is falling apart. And know that you are not alone. Know that there are countless others out there who are also choosing to rise above the negativity and focus on the good. Know that you are part of a global community of people who are committed to creating a better world, one small act of positivity at a time. And when you remember that, when you feel that sense of connection and support and shared purpose, that's when you truly become unstoppable. That's when you tap into a power that is greater than yourself, a power that can move mountains and change the course of history. So keep going, keep shining your light, keep acting as if nothing bothers you, even when the world around you is trying to drag you down. Keep believing in yourself and in the goodness of the universe, even when it feels like all hope is lost. Because you, my friend, are a force to be reckoned with. You have within you the power to create the life of your dreams, to make a difference in the world, to leave a legacy that will inspire generations to come. All you have to do is choose to act as if nothing bothers you, and then watch as the magic unfolds. But I want to be clear about something. Acting as if nothing bothers you doesn't mean that you never feel pain or sadness or fear. It doesn't mean that you are immune to the challenges and setbacks that life throws your way. In fact, it's quite the opposite. When you act as if nothing bothers you, you are acknowledging that pain and suffering are a part of the human experience. You are accepting that there will be times when you feel knocked down, when you feel like giving up, when you feel like you can't take another step. But you are also recognizing that you have a choice in how you respond to those moments. You can either let them define you, or you can use them as an opportunity to grow and evolve and become the best version of yourself. And when you choose the latter, when you choose to see challenges as opportunities and setbacks as stepping stones, that's when you start to build true emotional resilience. That's when you start to develop the kind of mental and emotional strength that can carry you through anything. So how do you do that? How do you learn to see the good in the midst of the bad, to find the lesson or the opportunity in every challenge? The first step is to practice acceptance. When something happens that triggers a negative emotion, don't try to push it away or pretend that it's not there. Instead, simply acknowledge it. Say to yourself, I am feeling angry right now, or I am feeling sad right now, or I am feeling afraid right now. By naming your emotion, by giving it space to exist without judgment, you start to diffuse its power. You start to create a bit of distance between yourself and the feeling, which allows you to respond with greater clarity and intentionality. The second step is to reframe your thoughts. When you're in the midst of a challenging situation, it's easy to get caught up in negative self-talk. You might find yourself thinking things like, I can't do this, or this is too hard, or I'm not good enough. But the truth is, those thoughts are not facts. They are simply stories that your mind is telling you, stories that are based on your past experiences and your limiting beliefs. So when you catch yourself engaging in negative self-talk, take a step back. Ask yourself, is this thought actually true? Is there evidence to support it? Or is it just a story that I'm telling myself? And then look for ways to reframe the thought in a more positive light. Instead of, I can't do this, try this as a challenge, but I have overcome challenges before, and I can do it again. Instead of, this is too hard, try this is an opportunity for me to grow and learn and become stronger. Instead of, I'm not good enough, try I am doing my best. And that is always enough. The third step is to practice gratitude. When you're going through a tough time, it can be easy to focus on all the things that are going wrong. But the truth is, there is always something to be grateful for, even in the darkest of moments. So take a few minutes each day to reflect on the things that you are thankful for. It could be something big, like your health or your family or your job, or it could be something small, like a warm cup of coffee or a beautiful sunrise or a kind word from a friend. The more you practice gratitude, the more you start to shift your focus from what's missing to what's present. And that shift in perspective can make all the difference in how you show up in the world. The fourth step is to take action. When you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed, it's easy to fall into the trap of paralysis by analysis. You might find yourself endlessly ruminating on your problems or getting caught up in a cycle of worry and fear. But the truth is, action is the antidote to anxiety. When you take even the smallest step forward, you start to build momentum. You start to feel a sense of control and empowerment, which can help you break free from the grip of negative emotions. So when you find yourself getting stuck in a negative thought loop, ask yourself, what is one small thing I can do right now to move forward? It could be something as simple as taking a deep breath or going for a walk or sending a text message to a friend. The key is to focus on taking action rather than getting caught up in the outcome, because the truth is, you can't control the results of your actions, but you can control the actions themselves, and that is where your true power lies. Hello there, and welcome to this video. Today I want to talk to you about something that has the power to transform your life in ways you never thought possible. It's a simple concept, but one that can be incredibly challenging to put into practice. And that concept is this: learning to act like failure doesn't bother you. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but failure does bother me. It's painful, it's embarrassing, it's demoralizing. How can I possibly act like it doesn't affect me? And I get it. I've been there. I've experienced my fair share of failures and setbacks over the years, but what I've learned through a lot of trial and error and a lot of soul searching is that the way we respond to failure is everything. It's not the failure itself that holds us back, but our reaction to it. You see, most of us have been conditioned from a young age to fear failure. We're taught that failure is a sign of weakness, of inadequacy, of not being good enough. We're told that successful people never fail, that they have some kind of magic formula that allows them to avoid mistakes and setbacks altogether. But the truth is, that's just not how life works. Failure is a natural and inevitable part of the human experience. It's not a question of if we'll fail, but when. And when we do fail, When we experience those inevitable setbacks and challenges, most of us have a tendency to let it get to us. We beat ourselves up, we dwell on our mistakes, we let the fear of failure hold us back from trying again. We tell ourselves that we're not good enough, that we'll never succeed, that we might as well just give up now and save ourselves the trouble. But what if I told you that there was another way? What if I told you that you could learn to act like failure doesn't bother you, even when it feels like it's tearing you apart inside? What if I told you that by doing so, you could unlock a level of resilience, confidence, and success that you never thought possible? Well, my friend, that's exactly what I'm here to tell you today. And I'm not just speaking from theory or speculation. I'm speaking from experience. You see, I've had my fair share of failures and setbacks over the years. I've experienced rejection, criticism, and disappointment more times than I can count. The first have had moments where I felt like giving up, where I questioned whether I had what it takes to succeed. But through it all, I've learned to cultivate a mindset that has allowed me to keep going, even in the face of failure. And that mindset is this: acting like failure doesn't bother me, even when it does. Now, I know that might sound counterintuitive. After all, isn't the whole point of failure that it does bother us? Isn't that why it's so painful and difficult to deal with? But here's the thing: when we allow failure to bother us, when we let it get under our skin and consume our thoughts and emotions, we give it power over us. We allow it to dictate our actions, our decisions, our beliefs about ourselves and what we're capable of. But when we learn to act like failure doesn't bother us, even when it does, we take that power back. We choose to focus on what we can control rather than what we can't. We choose to see failure as a learning opportunity rather than a personal indictment. We choose to keep moving forward even when every fiber of our being is telling us to give up. And when we do that, something incredible starts to happen. We start to build resilience. We start to develop a level of mental and emotional toughness that allows us to weather any storm, to overcome any obstacle, to keep pushing forward no matter what life throws our way. We start to see failure not as a permanent state, but as a temporary setback on the road to success. But how do we get there? How do we cultivate that mindset of acting like failure doesn't bother us, even when it feels like it's crushing us from the inside out? Well, my friend, that's what I want to share with you today. I want to give you some practical strategies and tools that you can use to start shifting your perspective on failure and to start building that unshakable confidence and resilience that will serve you for the rest of your life. The first step is to reframe failure in your mind. Instead of seeing it as a personal failure or a sign of inadequacy, try to view it as a learning opportunity. Every time you fail, you have the chance to learn something valuable about yourself, your strategies, your approach. You have the chance to course correct, to make adjustments, to try something new. When you start to see failure as a natural and necessary part of the learning process, it loses some of its power over you. It becomes less personal, less devastating, and more of a stepping stone on the path to success. The second step is to focus on the things you can control rather than the things you can't. When we experience failure, it's easy to get caught up in all the things that went wrong, all the things we wish we could change. But the truth is, there are always going to be factors outside of our control. There will always be variables that we can't predict or influence. And when we fixate on those things, we give them power over us. We allow them to dictate our emotions, our actions, our beliefs about ourselves. But when we focus on the things we can control, when we put our energy and attention into the things that are within our sphere of influence, we take that power back. We remind ourselves that we are not helpless victims of circumstance, but active agents in our own lives. We may not be able to control the outcome, but we can always control our effort, our attitude, our response to whatever happens. The third step is to develop a growth mindset. This is a concept that was coined by psychologist Carol Dweck, and it refers to the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed and improved through effort and learning. When we have a growth mindset, we see failure not as a reflection of our inherent worth or potential, but as an opportunity to learn and grow. We embrace challenges, we persist in the face of setbacks, and we view mistakes as a natural and necessary part of the learning process. On the other hand, when we have a fixed mindset, we see our abilities and intelligence as static and unchangeable. We believe that we are either naturally good at something or we're not, and there's nothing we can do to change that. When we experience failure, we take it personally. We see it as a reflection of our inherent inadequacy, and we often give up or avoid challenges altogether. But the truth is, our mindset is not fixed. It's something we can choose and cultivate through practice and intentional effort. And when we choose to adopt a growth mindset, when we choose to see failure as an opportunity rather than a threat, we open ourselves up to a whole new world of possibility and potential. The fourth step is to surround yourself with supportive people. One of the biggest barriers to acting like failure doesn't bother us is the fear of what other people will think. A supportive network of people who believe in you, who encourage you, who celebrate your successes and help you learn from your failures. Seek out people who have a growth mindset, who embrace challenges and view failure as a learning opportunity. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who inspire you, who challenge you to be your best self. And when you do experience failure or setbacks, lean on those people for support and encouragement. Let them remind you of your strengths, your potential, and your inherent worth, even when you're struggling to see it yourself. The fifth and final step is to practice self-compassion. This is perhaps the most important step of all, because it's the one that allows us to be kind and understanding with ourselves, even in the face of failure. When we experience setbacks or mistakes, it's easy to be hard on ourselves. We criticize ourselves, we beat ourselves up, we tell ourselves that we're not good enough or that we'll never succeed. But the truth is, that kind of self-talk is not only unhelpful, it's actually harmful. It erodes our confidence, our motivation, and our sense of self-worth. It keeps us stuck in a cycle of negative thinking and self-doubt, and it prevents us from moving forward and learning from our failures. Self-compassion, on the other hand, is about treating ourselves with the same kindness, understanding, and support that we would offer to a good friend. It's about recognizing that failure and mistakes are a natural and inevitable part of the human experience, and that we are not alone in our struggles. It's about acknowledging our own pain and suffering and responding to it with care and concern rather than judgment or criticism. When we practice self-compassion, we create a safe and supportive space for ourselves to learn and grow. We give ourselves permission to be imperfect, to make mistakes, to fail and try again. We remind ourselves that our worth is not contingent on our achievements or successes, but on our inherent value as human beings. And when we do that, when we learn to be kind and understanding with ourselves, even in the face of failure, something incredible starts to happen. We start to build a deep sense of self-trust and self-acceptance. We start to believe in ourselves, even when others don't. We start to see failure not as a reflection of our worth, but as a natural and necessary part of the learning process. And that, my friend, is the key to acting like failure doesn't bother you. It's not about pretending that failure doesn't hurt or that it doesn't matter. It's about choosing to respond to failure with resilience, with a growth mindset, with self-compassion and understanding. It's about surrounding yourself with supportive people who believe in you and encourage you to keep going, even when things get tough. And when you do that, when you learn to act like failure doesn't bother you, even when it does, you open yourself up to a whole new world of possibility and potential. You start to see challenges as opportunities, setbacks as stepping stones, and mistakes as valuable learning experiences. You start to believe in yourself and your ability to overcome any obstacle, to achieve any goal, to create the life you truly want to live. So my challenge to you today is this: start practicing these strategies in your own life. Reframe failure as a learning opportunity. Focus on the things you can control. Cultivate a growth mindset. Surround yourself with supportive people and practice self-compassion. And when you do experience failure or setbacks, remember that it's not a reflection of your worth or potential. It's simply a part of the journey, a chance to learn and grow and become the best version of yourself. And as you start to act like failure doesn't bother you, even when it does, watch how your life starts to change. Watch how your confidence grows, how your resilience strengthens, how your sense of purpose and passion deepens. Watch how you start to attract new opportunities, new relationships, new experiences that align with your values and goals. Because here's the thing, when you learn to act like failure doesn't bother you, you send a powerful message to the universe. You say, I am not defined by my mistakes or setbacks. I am a work in progress, and I am committed to learning and growing and becoming the best version of myself. And when you send that message, the universe responds in kind. It sends you the people, the resources, the opportunities you need to keep moving forward, to keep pursuing your dreams and goals with passion and purpose. So don't let failure hold you back any longer. Don't let the fear of mistakes or setbacks keep you playing small or settling for less than you deserve. Embrace the journey with all its ups and downs, all its challenges and triumphs. And remember that every failure, every setback, every mistake is simply a chance to learn and grow and become the person you were always meant to be. You have the power within you to create the life you want to live, to achieve the success and fulfillment you desire. And it all starts with learning to act like failure doesn't bother you, even when it does. So start today. Start small, start wherever you are, and trust that every step you take is bringing you closer to the life you were always meant to live. And if you ever find yourself struggling or feeling discouraged, remember this: you are not alone. You are part of a community of people who are all on this journey together, who are all learning and growing and striving to be their best selves. Reach out for support, for encouragement, for guidance whenever you need it. And know that every single one of us is cheering you on, believing in you, and rooting for your success. So go out there and live your best life, my friend. Embrace failure as a natural and necessary part of the journey, and trust that every step you take is bringing you closer to the success and fulfillment you desire. And remember, always remember, that you have the power within you to create the life you want to live. All you have to do is start acting like failure doesn't bother you, and watch how your world starts to change. You know, one of the biggest obstacles to acting like failure doesn't bother us is the fear of what other people will think. We worry about being judged, about being seen as inadequate or incompetent, about losing the respect or approval of those around us. And that fear can be paralyzing. It can keep us stuck in our comfort zones, afraid to take risks or try new things, afraid to put ourselves out there and pursue our dreams. But here's the thing, other people's opinions of us are none of our business. We can't control what others think or say about us, and we certainly can't live our lives based on their expectations or approval. When we do that, when we let the fear of judgment or rejection hold us back, we give away our power. We let others dictate our choices, our actions, our beliefs about ourselves and what we're capable of. And that's no way to live, my friend. That's not the path to fulfillment or success or happiness. The only way to truly create the life we want to live is to let go of the need for external validation, to focus on our own internal sense of worth and purpose, and to trust that we have everything we need within us to navigate whatever challenges or setbacks come our way. But I know that's easier said than done. I know that the fear of judgment or rejection can feel overwhelming at times, especially when we're stepping outside of our comfort zones or taking risks in pursuit of our dreams. So how do we overcome that fear? How do we learn to act like failure doesn't bother us, even when we're terrified of what others might think or say? Well, the first step is to recognize that everyone experiences fear and self-doubt at times. Even the most successful and confident people in the world have moments where they question themselves, where they worry about what others think of them. It's a natural and normal part of the human experience, and it doesn't make us weak or inadequate or less than. The second step is to reframe our perspective on failure and judgment. Instead of seeing them as threats to our worth or value as human beings, we can choose to see them as opportunities for growth and learning. Every time we face a challenge or setback, every time we put ourselves out there and risk being judged or rejected, we have the chance to build our resilience, to develop new skills and strategies, to learn more about ourselves and what we're capable of. And when we do experience judgment or rejection from others, we can choose to see it not as a reflection of our inherent worth or value, but as a reflection of their own fears, insecurities, and limitations. We can choose to have compassion for them, to recognize that their opinions and reactions say more about them than they do about us, and to let go of the need for their approval or validation. The third step is to focus on our own internal sense of worth and purpose. When we have a clear sense of who we are, what we value, and what we want to contribute to the world, we become less dependent on external validation and more grounded in our own truth. We start to trust ourselves, to believe in our own abilities and potential, and to make choices and take actions that align with our deepest desires and aspirations. And when we do that, when we focus on our own internal guidance system, something incredible starts to happen. We start to attract people and opportunities that resonate with our authentic selves, that support and encourage us in pursuing our dreams and goals. We start to build a community of like-minded individuals who share our values and vision, who lift us up and inspire us to be our best selves. And that, my friend, is the key to overcoming the fear of judgment and rejection. It's not about pretending that we don't care what others think or about becoming immune to the opinions and reactions of those around us. It's about choosing to focus on what truly matters, on our own sense of purpose and value, and on the people and experiences that align with our authentic selves. So how do we put this into practice? How do we start building that internal sense of worth and purpose and letting go of the need for external validation? Well, there are a few key strategies that I've found to be incredibly powerful in my own life and in the lives of those I've worked with over the years. The first is to cultivate a daily practice of self-reflection and self-discovery. Take time each day to connect with yourself, to explore your thoughts and feelings, your values and aspirations, your strengths and challenges. Write in a journal, meditate, go for a walk in nature, engage in a creative pursuit that brings you joy and fulfillment. The more you get to know and understand yourself, the more grounded and confident you'll become in your own truth. The second is to surround yourself with people who support and encourage you, who believe in your potential and inspire you to be your best self. Seek out mentors, coaches, and like-minded individuals who share your values and vision, who uplift and empower you to pursue your dreams and goals. And be willing to let go of relationships or situations that drain your energy, that make you feel small or inadequate, that don't align with your authentic self. The third is to take action toward your dreams and goals, even in the face of fear or uncertainty. Start small, start wherever you are, and trust that every step you take is bringing you closer to the life you want to live. Embrace challenges and setbacks as opportunities for growth and learning, and celebrate your successes and achievements along the way. And the fourth is to practice self-compassion and self-care, to treat yourself with kindness and understanding, even in the face of failure or rejection. Recognize that you are a work in progress, that you are learning and growing and evolving every day, and that your worth and value as a human being are not contingent on your achievements or successes. When you start to put these strategies into practice, when you start to focus on your own internal sense of worth and purpose, something incredible starts to happen. You start to act like failure doesn't bother you, even when it does. You start to see challenges and setbacks as opportunities for growth and learning rather than as threats to your worth or value. You start to trust yourself, to believe in your own abilities and potential, and to make choices and take actions that align with your deepest desires and aspirations. And that, my friend, is the key to living a life of purpose and fulfillment, to creating the success and happiness you desire. It's not about being perfect or about never experiencing fear or self-doubt. It's about learning to navigate those experiences with grace and resilience, to stay grounded in your own truth, and to keep moving forward one step at a time. So don't let the fear of failure or judgment hold you back any longer. Don't let the opinions or expectations of others dictate your choices or actions. Embrace your authentic self. Focus on your own internal sense of worth and purpose, and trust that every step you take is bringing you closer to the life you were always meant to live. And remember, you are not alone on this journey. You are part of a community of people who are all learning and growing and striving to be their best selves. Reach out for support, for encouragement, for guidance whenever you need it. And know that every single one of us is cheering you on, believing in you and rooting for your success. So go out there and live your best life, my friend. Take risks, face challenges, embrace failure as a natural and necessary part of the journey, and trust that you have everything you need within you to create the success and fulfillment you desire. And if you ever find yourself struggling or feeling discouraged, remember this: your worth and value as a human being are not contingent on your achievements or successes. You are worthy and valuable simply because you exist, simply because you are a unique and precious expression of the universe. So treat yourself with kindness and compassion, focus on your own internal sense of worth and purpose, and keep moving forward one day at a time, one step at a time. And know that every single one of us is here to support and encourage you, to believe in you, and to celebrate your successes along the way. Thank you for being here, for showing up for yourself and for your dreams. Thank you for your courage and resilience, for your willingness to face challenges and embrace growth. And thank you for being a part of this community, for sharing your light and your gifts with the world. Together, we can create a world where everyone has the opportunity to live their best life, to pursue their dreams and passions with joy and purpose, and to make a positive impact on the world around them. And it all starts with learning to act like failure doesn't bother us, with focusing on our own internal sense of worth and purpose, and with supporting and uplifting one another along the way. So keep shining your light, my friend. Keep showing up for yourself and for your dreams. And know that you are loved, you are valued, and you are capable of creating the life you truly desire. Have you ever found yourself feeling lonely or unfulfilled, even when you're surrounded by people? Do you struggle to find happiness and contentment within yourself, always seeking validation and joy from external sources? If so, you're not alone. In fact, learning to be happy alone is one of the greatest challenges we face as human beings, but it's also one of the most rewarding. You see, from a young age, we're taught that happiness comes from the outside world. We're told that we need to have the perfect relationship, the dream job, the fancy car, or the lavish lifestyle to be truly happy. But the truth is, none of those things can give us lasting fulfillment if we haven't first learned to be happy with ourselves. So how do we do that? How do we cultivate a deep sense of self-love, self-acceptance, and inner peace, regardless of our external circumstances? It starts with a shift in mindset, a willingness to let go of our preconceived notions of happiness and embrace a new way of being. First and foremost, we need to recognize that being alone does not equal being lonely. In fact, some of the most fulfilling and transformative moments in our lives often happen when we're by ourselves. It's in those quiet moments of solitude that we have the opportunity to connect with our true selves, to explore our passions and interests, and to cultivate a sense of inner strength and resilience. But for many of us, the idea of being alone is terrifying. We've been conditioned to believe that we need others to complete us, to validate our worth, and to give our lives meaning. We fear the silence, the stillness, and the uncertainty that comes with being alone. But what if I told you that those fears are actually holding you back from your greatest potential? What if I told you that embracing solitude is the key to unlocking your true happiness and fulfillment? You see, when we rely on others for our happiness, we give away our power, we become dependent on external validation and approval, always seeking the next fix of attention or affection. But when we learn to be happy alone, we take back that power. We become self-sufficient, self-reliant, and self-assured. So how do we start? The first step is to get comfortable with discomfort. Learning to be happy alone often means facing our deepest fears and insecurities head on. It means sitting with the uncomfortable emotions that arise when we're by ourselves without trying to distract or numb ourselves. This can be challenging at first, especially if we've spent years avoiding our own company. But with practice and patience, we can learn to embrace the discomfort and see it as an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. One of the best ways to do this is through mindfulness and meditation. By taking just a few minutes each day to sit in stillness and focus on our breath, we can begin to cultivate a sense of inner peace and calm. We can learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them, and we can start to develop a deeper sense of self-awareness and self-compassion. Another key to learning to be happy alone is to pursue our passions and interests with enthusiasm and curiosity. When we're engaged in activities that light us up and bring us joy, we're less likely to feel lonely or unfulfilled. Whether it's painting, writing, hiking, or playing music, finding hobbies and pursuits that we love can help us build a strong sense of self and purpose. But it's not just about keeping ourselves busy or distracted. Learning to be happy alone also means developing a deep sense of self-love and self-acceptance. It means treating ourselves with kindness and compassion, even when we make mistakes or fall short of our own expectations. One way to cultivate self-love is through positive self-talk and affirmations. Instead of constantly criticizing or judging ourselves, we can learn to speak to ourselves with the same love and encouragement we would offer a dear friend. We can remind ourselves of our strengths, our talents, and our inherent worth, even in moments of doubt or insecurity. Another way to build self-love is through acts of self-care and self-nurturing. This can look different for everyone, but some examples might include taking a relaxing bath, treating ourselves to a healthy meal, or taking a solo trip to a place we've always wanted to visit. The key is to prioritize our own needs and desires without feeling guilty or selfish for doing so. Of course, learning to be happy alone doesn't mean we have to isolate ourselves from others completely. In fact, having strong, supportive relationships is an important part of overall well-being and happiness. But when we learn to be content and fulfilled on our own, we're able to show up in our relationships from a place of wholeness and self-sufficiency rather than neediness or desperation. We're able to give and receive love freely without expectations or attachments. We're able to set healthy boundaries and communicate our needs clearly without fear of rejection or abandonment. And we're able to weather the ups and downs of relationships with grace and resilience, knowing that our happiness and worth are not dependent on anyone else. Ultimately, learning to be happy alone is about cultivating a deep sense of trust and faith in ourselves. It's about believing that we have the strength, the wisdom, and the resilience to handle whatever life throws our way without needing to rely on others to save or complete us. And the beautiful thing is, when we learn to be happy alone, we open ourselves up to even greater happiness and fulfillment in all areas of our lives. We attract people and experiences that align with our true selves, and we're able to create the kind of life we've always dreamed of on our own terms. So if you're struggling to find happiness and contentment within yourself, know that you're not alone. Know that it's possible to cultivate a deep sense of self-love and inner peace, no matter what your external circumstances may be. And know that by learning to be happy alone, you're giving yourself the greatest gift of all, the gift of true freedom, joy, and fulfillment. It won't happen overnight, and it won't always be easy. There will be moments of doubt, fear, and discomfort along the way. But with practice, patience, and self-compassion, you can learn to embrace solitude as a path to your greatest potential and happiness. So start today. Take a few minutes to sit in stillness and connect with your breath. Pursue a passion or hobby that lights you up from the inside out. Speak to yourself with kindness and love, even in moments of struggle or self-doubt. And trust that you have everything you need within yourself to create a life of true happiness and fulfillment, no matter what challenges come your way. Remember, learning to be happy alone is not about being perfect or having it all figured out. It's about being willing to show up for yourself day after day with curiosity, compassion, and a sense of adventure. It's about embracing the journey of self-discovery and self-love, even when it feels scary or uncertain. And as you continue on this path, you may find that being alone is not something to be feared or avoided, but rather something to be cherished and celebrated. You may find that solitude is a source of great strength, creativity, and wisdom, and that it allows you to connect with yourself and the world around you in profound and meaningful ways. So embrace the journey, my friend. Embrace the discomfort, the uncertainty, and the joy that comes with learning to be happy alone. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be and that every step along the way is leading you closer to your true self and your greatest potential. And know that you are never truly alone. Even in your moments of deepest solitude, you are connected to a vast and beautiful universe filled with endless possibilities and opportunities for growth and transformation. You are supported by a love that knows no bounds, and that is always guiding you towards your highest good. So keep going. Keep showing up for yourself, keep cultivating self-love and self-acceptance, and keep trusting in the journey. And know that by learning to be happy alone, you are not only giving yourself the greatest gift, but you are also inspiring others to do the same. Because when we learn to be happy alone, we create a ripple effect of love, joy, and fulfillment that touches everyone around us. We become a beacon of hope and possibility, reminding others that true happiness comes from within, and that we all have the power to create the life we desire, no matter what challenges we may face. As we embark on this journey of learning to be happy alone, it's important to remember that it's not a one-size-fits-all process. What works for one person may not work for another. And that's okay. The key is to be patient, curious, and open to experimentation as you discover what brings you joy and fulfillment. One of the most powerful tools in this process is gratitude. When we focus on the things we're grateful for, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, we shift our mindset from one of lack and scarcity to one of abundance and appreciation. We begin to see the beauty and wonder in the world around us, and we cultivate a sense of contentment and peace that comes from within. So start each day by taking a few moments to reflect on the things you're grateful for. It could be something as simple as the warmth of the sun on your face, the taste of your favorite coffee, or the love and support of a dear friend. The more you practice gratitude, the more you'll begin to see the blessings in your life, even in moments of challenge or difficulty. Another key to learning to be happy alone is to embrace your own uniqueness and authenticity. So often we try to fit into someone else's mold of who we should be or what we should want, rather than honoring our own truth and desires. But when we learn to be true to ourselves, we tap into a deep well of happiness and fulfillment that comes from living in alignment with our values and passions. This means letting go of the need for external validation or approval, and instead trusting in our own inner wisdom and intuition. It means being willing to take risks, to try new things, and to follow our own path, even if it looks different from everyone else's. And it means celebrating our own quirks, eccentricities, and imperfections, knowing that they are what make us beautifully and uniquely ourselves. Of course, embracing our authenticity doesn't mean we have to do everything alone. In fact, having a strong support system of friends, family, and loved ones is an important part of overall well-being and happiness. But when we learn to be happy alone, we're able to show up in those relationships from a place of wholeness and self-sufficiency rather than neediness or codependency. We're able to give and receive love freely without expectations or attachments. We're able to communicate our needs and boundaries clearly without fear of rejection or abandonment. And we're able to weather the ups and downs of relationships with grace and resilience, knowing that our happiness and worth are not dependent on anyone else. Another important aspect of learning to be happy alone is to cultivate a sense of purpose and meaning in our lives. This doesn't necessarily mean we have to have it all figured out or know exactly what we want to do with our lives. But it does mean taking the time to explore our passions, values, and interests, and finding ways to contribute to the world in a way that feels authentic and fulfilling to us. This could mean volunteering for a cause we care about, starting a creative project or business, or simply being kind and compassionate to those around us. The key is to find something that lights us up from the inside out, and that gives us a sense of purpose and direction, even in moments of uncertainty or doubt. And as we continue on this journey of self-discovery and self-love, it's important to remember that it's not a linear process. There will be ups and downs, moments of clarity and moments of confusion, times when we feel like we're making progress and times when we feel like we're stuck or going backwards. But through it all, we can learn to be kind and compassionate with ourselves, to treat ourselves with the same love and understanding we would offer a dear friend. We can learn to let go of perfectionism and self-judgment and instead embrace the messiness and imperfection of the human experience. And we can learn to trust in the journey, knowing that every step along the way is leading us closer to our true selves and our greatest potential. We can learn to be happy alone, not because we're settling for less or giving up on our dreams, but because we're choosing to be our own best friend, our own greatest ally, and our own source of love and support. So keep going, my friend. Keep showing up for yourself, keep cultivating self-love and self-acceptance, and keep trusting in the journey. Know that you are not alone, even in your moments of deepest solitude, and that there is a whole community of people out there who are rooting for you and cheering you on. And know that by learning to be happy alone, you are not only giving yourself the greatest gift, but you are also inspiring others to do the same. You are creating a ripple effect of love, joy, and fulfillment that touches everyone around you. And that has the power to transform the world. Because when we learn to be happy alone, we open ourselves up to a world of endless possibilities and opportunities for growth and transformation. We become a beacon of hope and possibility, reminding others that they too have the power to create a life of joy, fulfillment, and purpose, no matter what their circumstances may be. So let's do this together. Let's learn to be happy alone, and let's create a world where everyone has the tools and the support they need to cultivate true happiness and well-being from the inside out. Let's embrace solitude as a path to our greatest potential. And let's inspire others to do the same. Are you ready? Let's keep going one step at a time, one day at a time, one moment at a time. And let's trust that the journey itself is the destination, and that every step along the way is leading us closer to our true selves and our greatest happiness. Thank you for being here, for showing up for yourself, and for being willing to embrace the journey of learning to be happy alone. You are a true inspiration, and I am honored to be a part of your journey. So let's keep going, my friend. Let's keep learning, growing, and discovering all the incredible things we're capable of. And let's keep reminding ourselves that we are never truly alone, even in our moments of deepest solitude. Because we are all connected, all part of a greater whole, all part of a love that knows no bounds. And when we learn to be happy alone, we tap into that love, that connection, and that sense of belonging that is our birthright and our greatest gift. So here's to the journey, my friend. Here's to the ups and downs, the joys and the sorrows, the moments of clarity and the moments of confusion. Here's to the incredible adventure of learning to be happy alone and of discovering all the beauty, wonder, and possibility that lies within us and all around us. And here's to you, my friend. Here's to your courage, your resilience, your wisdom, and your strength. Here's to the incredible being that you are and to the incredible journey that lies ahead. May you always remember that you are loved, that you are worthy, and that you are never truly alone. May you always find the happiness, peace, and fulfillment that comes from within, and may you always inspire others to do the same. Thank you for being here, for being you, and for being a part of this incredible journey of life. I am honored to walk beside you, and I can't wait to see all the amazing things you'll create and discover along the way. So let's keep going, my friend. Let's keep learning to be happy alone, and let's keep creating a world of love, joy, and possibility, one moment at a time. Here's to the journey, and here's to you. Thank you for being here.